Hey, how's it going guys? Rogue here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on The Flash episode 16, season 3. So huge spoiler warning if you're not caught up with The Flash, if you didn't see tonight's episode, or if you haven't seen any of the episodes this season, I advise you to click off this. Right, so obviously it just starts off with Barry overthinking things of what could have been. You know, he's just replaying stuff in his head over and over again. Then he comes to the conclusion that he's just going to save Wally, and that's it. So obviously they come up with this idea to open a breach. And, you know, all things could go wrong. You know, Barry could get lost in the Speed Force with Wally, but, you know, he's going to do it anyway because obviously family's everything to him. So he just does it. He says his goodbyes to everyone. And obviously him and Cisco breach through to the Speed Force, which was very good because obviously the CGI on this was amazing as well. I just want to point that out. I thought the CGI was brilliant on this episode, but it definitely gave me a clearer understanding of the Flash universe in general, because I mean all I watch is the TV show. I don't know anything about the comics or anything, so it's kind of gave me a bigger understanding now that obviously they're using the Speed Force, and obviously I should have known that anyway, everything about Speed Force, but it's just opening my eyes a bit, you know, refreshing my brain. But obviously the Flash, or Barry, lands in the Speed Force, well, enters the Speed Force. And the first person he sees is Eddie Thawne. Well, it's not actually Eddie Thawne, it's just, what can I say, an entity? Maybe? An entity? I'm not too sure, but it's just, I think it's the Speed Force just in Eddie, human form, I guess. And they're basically talking about how Eddie and Iris were going to marry each other. And then obviously Barry starts saying to Eddie, I'm just going to call him Eddie. I know it's not Eddie, but he says to him, is it possible that he can switch places with Wally? And they say no, because they said they understand that night when he saved his mother, because that was his mother, but he took it too far after that, and one Flash needs to stay in there. He said, Barry says that, you know, Wally's still a kid, and then Eddie says, but he's still a Flash, so he has to stay in the Speed Force. Then obviously this huge scene happens, which was the key point for me in this episode. The Time Wraith just chases Barry through this whole police precinct. Say that 3 times, Jesus Christ. And eventually Barry stumbles upon Caitlin with a baby, and you know, he's staring at the baby and Caitlin for a while, and obviously Ronnie comes along. He's obviously not Ronnie, but he starts talking to Barry about everything that could have been, and Barry's saying about everyone who passed away or died did everything for the greater good, and Ronnie says to him, no, they did it for you, which they did. Yeah, they did do it for him, but obviously it was for the greater good as well, because obviously the Flash is good. And then they just had to talk about everything to do with Wally, and he said he's not leaving, so he doesn't care if he has to stay there. He doesn't care about taking Wally's place. He just wants Wally out of there back to his family. And Ronnie says to him, it's on Flash, and obviously Black Flash just comes straight fucking out of nowhere and starts chasing down Barry, you know, all through the police precincts, and obviously he captures him, throws him to the floor and starts draining the life out of him via strangle, you know, which was a very good moment, because I haven't read any of the comic books, I'm sorry, but you know, I just never been able to, you know, buy them. You know what I mean? It's just something that's never really bothered me about getting them, but I do want to read them. But I'm pretty sure in the comic books Wally West gets chased by Death, and I'm pretty sure he outruns him. I thought that was cool because they kind of implemented that into this, but obviously Barry isn't fast enough to outrun him, but obviously his vitals drop and everything like that. And obviously Barry wakes up and he's in the middle of this hospital wing, and you know, he gets up, he looks through the door, and obviously Wally's there crying because he's watching his mum in the hospital be murdered, obviously, which is going to be a traumatic time for him, isn't it? You know, you seeing your mum be murdered, it's not exactly nice, is it? And then obviously he goes to go through the door, and Captain Cole comes along and he says, I wouldn't do that, Flash, if I were you. And then this time obviously Jesse Quick is trying to fucking fight Savitar. You know, we all know that Jesse Quick versus Savitar, she's fast, she's strong, but even Wally probably couldn't beat Savitar, you know what I'm saying? So it's not exactly the smartest choice to, you know, you just try and fight him It's pretty stupid, to be honest. I mean, they should know it's a stupid idea to try and fight Savitar by yourself. Especially she hasn't even had the speed for that long, you know? She's not exactly experienced with it. And then this part kind of cracked me up, obviously. HR says, "You're not getting past me," and she just, like, smacks him in the face. He does this, like, I can't remember what he says now. He says something, he just, like, flops to the floor. And obviously, Captain Cold, whatever you want to call him, obviously he's not Captain Cold, but he goes on about how Barry made Captain Cold sacrifice himself in Legends. If you haven't seen that, yeah, I'm sorry, spoiler, I did say that in the start of the video that this contains spoilers, but obviously he sacrifices himself for the rest of the Legends and just for everyone. And obviously he goes on about that. He goes on about how the Flash made Captain Cold want to be a hero, and obviously Captain Cold shoots him with the cold gun of the free. What's it? I'm not too sure. I think it's called the cold gun. Sorry, not the gold gun. Obviously, Jay Garrick, or I call him the Fat Flash, comes to the rescue, obviously. And, you know, he's a good character. I really love Jay. It's nice seeing him once in a while, obviously. Get to see him a few times every season. He's still one of my favourite characters on The Flash, though. And obviously, Jessie Quick goes to attack Savitar because she has Savitar's blade. And obviously, it can track Savitar, so she throws it forward and she just follows it, and obviously she comes against Savitar. Now she like wraps around him and forms this, I think is a bolt, and she shoots at him, and he just basically, I don't know, he sucks it all in and he just shoots an even stronger one at her, and obviously that didn't go to plan. And she has the blade in her arm and she's trying to grab it, and Savitar's pulling her closer and closer and closer. HR doesn't know what to do. Eventually HR comes to a theory that could work. He says, and if there's any weak spots, stab it in there. So basically, she stabs it. I'm not too sure where she stabs it. Maybe it's just like his chest area, his neck area. And, you know, that's when we find out that he's actually human. I mean, obviously, we knew he was a human from seeing that picture, the video of the man turn into the, Savitar as we know. Obviously, they eventually get in the hospital room. Barry hugs Wally and tells him it's all over now. And you just see Jay Garrick stumble off to the side. I knew immediately what had happened. I know this sounds sort of stupid, but I'm kind of psychic. Like, I can predict a lot of stuff happening. Maybe that's, I don't know if that's just me. It probably is not, but, you know, it's just something I've always been able to do. I'm just able to predict stuff, and it's really weird for me. But as soon as him and Wally just, like, were hugging, I knew, I was like, there's going to be a catch to this, isn't there? They're not just going to let everyone go, are they? And that's when I just knew that Jay Garrick had to stay behind. Obviously, he wants Flash and Kid Flash to protect the rest of the city, which is good of him. You know, he's sacrificing himself for the greater good, obviously. And obviously, Barry doesn't want him to do this because, come on, it's his friend. He's taught him a lot. He doesn't want him to sacrifice. He is basically his father because he's Henry Allen's doppelganger, but he's also a father-like figure to him, you know? And obviously, Barry obviously can't do much about it. They haven't obviously got much time. They need to get out of there. Barry says to him that they're going to come back and rescue him, which I'm pretty sure they will, but I don't think that'll be this season. I think it maybe be probably halfway through next season. I can't see it happening this season. And obviously people probably thinking now that Jay Garrick might be, you know, Savitar because, or obviously people might be talking shit into his head saying that Barry made him stay in there, and obviously Jay Garrick might want his revenge in the future. But I ain't too sure if that's possible. Like, maybe it is, but I just don't see someone as nice as Jay doing something like that. And obviously, Barry gets back to his house where he sees Iris, and they have a discussion about how much they love each other and everything that's going on. And he sees the wedding ring on the table, obviously. And Iris wants to get back with him, and Barry basically says, no, we need a break. You know, we need a break from this because it's not the right time for this. You know, and she just says she's going to go back to her dad's house. Barry gives her the house, obviously. He's going to live at Cisco's for a while. And that's where the episode ends. So, to be honest, I really enjoyed that episode. It's probably not my favourite, but it was a very good episode, trust me. Probably my second favourite behind Kid Flash Got His Powers was probably my favourite. I'm not too sure which episode that was, but that was probably my favourite episode. But I'm going to end the video here, guys. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. My name is Rogue, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.